Hey there, YouTube. How you doing? We're going to jump into our U.S. news. This is the 17th of December. Welcome to the News Underground. I am Abandoned Nihilism. Going to jump into some U.S. news here, and then we're going to do some Elon, some Africa, some Berlin, some Kosovo, some Japan, some UK, some China, and some Ukraine. Because we do real news on the News Underground. So thank you so much for tuning in. All right. Yeah, so I really like Cenk Uyghur's tweet here. Just turn this down just a notch. There we go. We just want a single notch, just a little grumble. So he's responding to this tweet here. Let me just zoom this in for you guys so you can actually read it. Candace on the Hill. News. POTUS makes a last-ditch effort to get Senator Joe Manchin's permitting bill passed. Biden statement. Congress can advance our energy future by passing Senator Manchin's permitting reform legislation. And then, so Cenk Uyghur said, we've seen this 1,000 times, and 1,000 times mainstream media and Democrats have gaslit you. Joe Biden is just as conservative as Joe Manchin. He has the same exact priorities, and he appreciated that Manchin killed 85% of his agenda that he never believed in. And I really do believe this now. I do think that the reason why Joe Manchin still enjoys the position that he has in the Democratic Party, because this is the rotating villain strategy. Okay, Joe Biden is actually really proud of Joe Manchin. You know, Nancy Pelosi and all the other establishment Democrats are like, "Thank you, Joe Manchin, for for taking the blows for us. It's really hurting it really hurts our image when we're obviously corrupt like this, and so it really helps to have a fall guy like you. So thank you so much, right? And this is all happening in the background, right? Because why does he? There's no investigations into him or his corrupt daughter. There's no removal of committee seats or any kind of parliamentary congressional style punishment. There's no Joe Biden getting out there and using the bully pulpit. The only person in a suit that criticizes Joe Manchin is Bernie Sanders and maybe AOC once in a while. Same thing for Kristen Sinema. So we do have to ask ourselves, this is an Occam's razor kind of situation. I think that's what I tweeted, that this is an Occam's razor situation. The simplest path here is that the Democrats, are using this rotating villain strategy to take the heat off them as a party, the laser beam focus it on a couple individuals. And when pressed on it, they say, look, it's a strategic decision because they live in purple districts and we have to. But in the back, they're actually quite relieved to have these two kind of heels, if you want to use professional wrestling terminology. They're heels. They're the villains. They're meant to be loud. And, Joe Manchin being on his yacht and being interviewed by the activists, that's great optics, right? This is how the Democrats think. This is how the Democrats theorize, right? This is why when they got warning about the abortion, of Roe v. Wade getting destroyed, the bullet that they had in the chamber was a fundraising email. Their actions and priorities have for decades, and ask the adults in the room to corroborate on this. The neoliberals' actions have always been diametrically opposed from their words. They speak in the language of progressivism. And this is why I rail against them so much, because I'm a progressive. They speak in the language of progressivism. They speak about how we need to make real left, leaning change. And then time and time and time again, it's corporatist, right-wing politics. That's their main priority. And the only time we see this sleeping dragon rise from its fucking crib is when a progressive starts to gain momentum and any kind of power. And then we see this raging political beast emerge and start destroying everything in its wake. That's the only time they activate, right? And that tells me that, one, they're capable, and two, they're fully aware of what they're doing. They're fully aware of this. Sure, there's a couple true believers here and there, but at the end of the day, the sickness of the Republican Party, which is, you know, the party over country, has absolutely infected the neoliberal Democratic Party, and it absolutely is party over country. If Nancy Pelosi cared about the country over her party, she would have stepped down a decade ago. She pats herself on the back because she can make a shitload of money, appear, right, by promising oligarchs tax cuts. Like that's some kind of, like she's a genius. It's the easiest thing in the world to say, I'm going to make a rich person's life easier. Shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, are you kidding me? So anyway, that's those were my comments on this tweet, and you know, from Cenk Uygur. You know, he's still, you know, man, I got a lot of problems with Cenk. I got a ton of fucking problems. I'm unsubscribed from TYT. I don't watch their shit. I'm still pissed off about the Elizabeth Warren nonsense, and then he goes out and votes for right wingers. At the same time, these kind of statements were the reason why I was initially a fan of TYT, because this is not, you know, if you did watch TYT regularly at any time, Cenk Uygur is never afraid to point out the obvious corruption of the neoliberal Democrat Party. Okay. So, you know, nice. It's a good one. Good one from Cenk. Thank you. Thank you, Cenk, for putting that awareness out there that these people are not naive. They're not, oh, shucks, we're trying so hard. Okay. Can we stop with the fucking, you know, myth making about the neoliberal Democrats? They're corrupt. They need to be replaced, mercilessly politically destroyed. Without mercy. Enough of the pussyfooting around. Go for the neck. Politically. Roblox. Speaking of Roe v. Wade, I thought we'd get a little abortion update here. Here is an Idaho woman who is miscarrying. That means she has a dead, partially formed child in her body and has been denied an abortion because of state law and has been documenting herself getting sicker and sicker over the last 2 days. So if you don't exactly know what's going on, she has to get a certain distance to death before she's actually allowed to get the abortion that she needs to save her life. If you're not aware, having dead necrotic flesh in your body is actually really bad for your body. So the longer she waits, it's basically poisoning her. And the longer she waits, the more likely she is to die. And according to the law, she has to get a certain distance to death before God will let her get an abortion, I guess. You know, by the way, these were all arbitrary rules, likely created by a majority of men. It's like to point all these things out. So let's hear from what she has to say. 3 million views. It's totally sane policy. This is how human beings want to be treated.
I'll probably delete this later, but I've been actively miscarrying since the 8th. I have gone to a doctor, and this is my second visit to the ER. If you're wondering why women's rights matter, I'm just gonna fucking bleed out on this table before somebody comes and actually helps me. This is my life. Nobody actually is coming down. They're always gonna send me home.
Boy, TikTok really does need to come up with a better little jingle there for some of these videos. You know, maybe you can click a checkbox that says, you know, somber ending instead of, hey, I'm going to die. Anyway, there you go. From her own words, from Jessica Valenti, who just wants to live a normal life. It's interesting, though, that, wow. Oh, that's not from Jessica Valenti. I was about to say, I was like, wow, this woman who's going through this exact issue is apparently like a student on, you know, feminism and gender studies and all that. But no, she's reporting on this. I'm sorry. So I don't know this woman's name, but she's from Idaho, and this is what happens when you vote right-wing politician, but also when you blindly vote for neoliberal Democrat. Because let's not forget that this deletion of Roe v. Wade is just as much the fault of the neoliberal Democrats. I would say maybe 49% the fault of the neoliberal Democrats, 51% fascistic right-wing Republicans. How about that? I'll throw you a fucking bone, neoliberals, like you deserve it. So let's not forget that. Okay, what was the Democrats' first move when Roe v. Wade was destroyed and they had months of warning? What was their first move? A fundraising email. I don't know, John Axel. I don't know if that's the case. I certainly hope that's the case, John Axel. She shouldn't have had to go back a second time, a third time. Should have happened immediately. And some people don't have a strong constitution. Some people die pretty quickly when they're poisoned. Okay, not everybody's the same. Okay, I'd like to see the politicians who made this law poison themselves to the edge of death. I'd like to see that. So this is an interesting video. It was posted by Dirty Crackhead, who really does get around on the internet here. 93 views, 0 comments, 12 likes. Very underground video, but I was watching it, and I don't know if we'll watch the whole thing because it does just kind of go on and on and on. But fascinating video. Here, check it out. Make sure you give it the like and subscribe if you like the content there. But it's a breakdown of Proud Boys training and doing their formations. It's a breakdown and criticism of how ineffective they are. Some of this is pretty nitpicky, I gotta say. So I thought we would go through it, and I would basically give it a valid criticism or nitpick. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing through the video here. But I thought this was kind of interesting. These are the fascists that will gladly allow themselves to be deputized. Think of the morality police in Iran. Mediocre men with mediocre minds who will gladly allow the state to weaponize them, to turn them into weapons against democracy, freedom, liberty. These are the individuals that we are gonna have to deal with, because yeah, they're clowns, they're mediocre, they're pathetic, okay. But the state the empire will weaponize these people, deputize them, give them a badge, give them power. Okay. And then all of a sudden, now you got to deal with these guys. Okay. This is why I say we need to act now. Okay. Don't think DeSantis doesn't see this as a resource that he can dip his little pin dick into. Okay. He's a very dangerous man. He sees this as, yeah, okay, this might be a good tool I could utilize. And they will gladly get behind DeSantis. Gladly.
By now, most of us have seen the humiliating video of Patriot Front members training with their fancy painted metal shields in the fields of Virginia that was leaked by internet heroes.
See if I can do something here.
Today, we're going to take a critical look at the techniques and tactics used by PF and how they would apply in a real-world, hand-to-hand situation against anti-fascists. There is a lot to be observed and learned from their mistakes, and we can utilize their ignorance against them. Our first observation is that just about every Patriot Front member holding a shield is standing in a way that makes their centers of gravity too high, especially when attacking. They stand very tall, and many have their knees locked in place. This allows an anti-fascist to easily manipulate the shield or body of the fascist by changing angles or levels, and applying forward force in conjunction with another direction like up, down, or sideways, which will knock them off balance.
Damn, dude, homeboy getting into it. I probably shouldn't show this video, man. I didn't know there's going to be fist fighting, but okay, it's okay. I got to watch out.
Whether changing positions in formation or circling around to react to attackers, almost every PF member crosses their feet when moving. There is
you have an aftermath photo of that guy getting jacked? Wait, this probably has blood in it. Hold on. Oh, no. Okay, this is the follow-up to the abortion thing. Okay, good. I was like, hold on. I can't show a fascist getting jacked in the face, as entertaining as that would be. Okay, so she was able to get her abortion, and this is her update. I've checked for an ectotopic. I hope you're feeling better and get some answers and help. This isn't the same woman, is it? I mean, she did have a mask on. It's kind of hard to tell. Actually, it is hard to tell. I sleep and stop sharing now as the meanies have surfaced. Thank you. You saved my life. They have the last doctor, the best out of all. Thanks for St. Luke's and Boise suggestion. They didn't do what I wanted, but they had what I needed. They found the baby stuck in my cervix and did a PAP procedure to remove it. So sad. And now she's resting. Okay. That's great news. That's great news. It's absolutely disgusting that it took a woman to having to go viral, right? Maybe that's not the case. Maybe she would have found help regardless. But this entire law is cockamamie. You know what I mean? Wait until you're on the verge of death and then we can do it. They have the technology. They know the baby is dead. It was stuck. She had a corpse in her cervix. These people are ghouls. People are fucking ghouls. Okay? And I guarantee you, they would never allow any member of their family to go through what that woman went through. Rules for thee and not for me. And they'll tell you, oh, yeah, no, if it happens, if my daughter's raped, yep, they're totally shameless. So if my daughter's raped, then she's going to have to carry the baby. Yep. Yeah, they do it shamelessly. They're hypocrites. And I don't believe it for a fucking second. And I don't even need proof.
There is no shuffling or sidestepping into position while maintaining an appropriate stance. Only a clumsy and unbalanced movement. This provides an attacker an advantage in balance and speed. Any anti-fascist can easily push them over or manipulate the shield holder whatever way they desire by simply moving forward. It is also worth noting that there is no subtle shifting from one formation into another. When they change positions, it looks like a scene from a police academy movie, not the highly organized militia movement they're failing to perpetrate. The spacing between members does not provide mutual support for their comrades in any meaningful way. Not only for people beside them on either side, but there's no support from the second line to the first line, people on the flanks, and so forth. They happen to have drag handles on their plate carriers, but no one is close enough to actually drag someone away, let alone brace them for an oncoming charge. For a group that uses the Roman fasces as a symbol, they really don't have even the most tenuous grasp of shield wall or line tactics. If you observe the hand placement of the right,
I think that's fair. It is pretty loosey-goosey.
Hand, the hand not strapped to the shield, is very poor for support. They also tend to hunch down into their shoulders, much like a turtle. This takes away all power and stability from the neck and shoulders and places all the stress on the arms. Any anti-fascist applying forward pressure on either side of the shield will easily get through, even if they were to have the shields overlapping with each other, if they use this poor backup hand placement and or continue hunching their neck and shoulders turtle style. Kicking the shield towards the face would also be effective.
That would be effective.
Their clumsily engineered shields are strapped poorly for the way they are holding them perpendicular out in front of their bodies. Many also have their shield angled down towards their legs, or are resting it on their leg.
Yeah.
And
that's a terrible idea. What he's doing right there, that's a terrible idea. One swift kick to that shield, ooh, that'll hurt the leg. Ooh, that would hurt. Look at this. This is a terrible idea. Oh, that's ooh, boy, that's a bad idea. They really don't know. God, I'm shocked. They really don't know what they're doing out there.
In either case, that will injure the shield user if an anti-fascist pushes or kicks forward, down, or both at the same time.
That hurt.
This flawed strapping design also makes it easier to manipulate their shield with your hands, giving you lots of options in which to disarm or abuse the unsuspecting fascist. They were not protecting their faces or heads with their shields, even though they have holes for vision.
Why are there so many guys? Ask yourself this, okay? This is a huge problem with the left. This asshole, all cops are awesome. Just joined. How many lefties have we seen who are crusading around Twitch, right? Holding their banner, right? How many people have come into my stream with the name Single Payer Healthcare is awesome? I got the answer for you. It's fucking zero. Okay? The fascists are motivated. The fascists put in the work. The fascists get in the street and the fascists donate. And if we're going to defeat them, we need to be as zealous and shameless when it comes to spreading our message as they are. We're not above this. We're not too fucking cool to be progressive. It's not enough, woke patriot. Clearly, it's not enough. And I go back to my example. How many times during the stream? At least 2 to 3 times per stream, I get some fascist right winger, right? Kyle Rittenhouse was right? All cops are awesome. Black people, I don't like black people. Some variation of that. Crusading around Twitch, spreading their message, filling every channel and every chat with their bile. Where is the left? Why are we not doing this? Oh, I don't want people to think I'm not cool. You're losing. We're losing. We're losing to these idiots.
More so, they have their faces right by these sharp metal corners, which allows any anti-fascist the opportunity to use a quick jolting shove or kick.
I agree.
To turn that defensive weapon into an offensive one.
No, I totally agree. I mean, look at this. They're holding it up, pop, right in the chin, pop, right in the knee. You kick it forward, downward, right in the knee, right in the knee, and then you grab the shield and then hit him in the face with it. This is terrible design. They think they're so fucking cool, right? I passed. Metal shop was the only class I actually passed before I dropped out of high school.
By these sharp metal corners, which allows any anti-fascist the opportunity to use a quick jolting shove or kick to turn that defensive weapon into an offensive one. Just imagine if a Patriot Front member is holding it right next to their eye. Also of note are the holes in the shields, which make it easier for water, paint, or whatever to get onto the shield holder.
Great point.
Why are there no helmets or eye protection being worn?
It's a great point.
They wear shin guards, and some have padded gloves, but no one is wearing protection for their heads or face. The caps and thin plastic head covers are no real protection, let alone the cheap sunglasses, and I doubt they have good enough reflexes or awareness to block a punch, let alone a projectile from a concerned citizen. If the Patriot Front members do end up wearing helmets and the like when battling anti-fascists or the state, something they will discover is how awkward and bulky the protective gear seems wearing it in the heat of the moment. Whatever gear you plan on fighting in, you should practice wearing it all when training, so that you're physically conditioned to wearing it in combat situations, and you know its capabilities ahead of time. There is a very slow and uncoordinated effort at regrouping after being attacked. This video shows multiple times after being attacked, or even just practicing shifting and moving in their formation, that these pathetic excuses for LARPers can't even achieve the simplest of defensive maneuvers, let alone show awareness of their fellow members and what they are doing or how to react. Every member looks around for direction and awaits another person to move or take the lead. Anti-fascists can easily exploit this gigantic flaw by overwhelming them.
Yeah, they're practicing. They got one guy. They got a whole group, and they're like, yeah, they're like fantasizing. What if we run into one Antifa and there's like 100 of us? Oh, that'd be so awesome, right? You're not going to run into one dude, okay? And they're going to be coming at you from multiple angles, throwing all kinds of shit at you. Hey, Larry, pretend to be Antifa for a minute, yeah.
The biggest observation is they just let a guy through. Like, what is even the point of practicing if it's that easy? A group of 3 people walk into them and are met with minimum resistance, allowing only one person to be kept at bay for any significant amount of time. If Patriot Front regularly practices like this, or promotes this level of competency, then it is worth noting that when they train, it's at a moderate amount of intensity, as if they only expect that level of resistance and never pressure test with scenarios that have more serious physical implications. That's only 3 people, and they were trying to be kind to the Patriot Front members. Imagine what we can do.
Oh man, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get in trouble, man. But fuck,
Our final observation is no one seems to be in command, observing, or issuing orders.
Yeah.
And no one seems to know the drill. This whole scenario was very poorly planned and executed even worse. For a group that boasts having military and law enforcement members, their group tactics are pure amateur shit and can be easily
nice tits.
disrupted by a small coordination of disciplined anti-fascists. Or a wily group of enraged black bloc out only to cause chaos. Patriot Front would immediately become demoralized and fall apart as they lack both discipline and heart. After studying videos of these losers training, marching, and defending themselves from citizens that rightfully didn't want them in their neighborhood, anyone can make the assumption that while as an organization, Patriot Front puts out an optic that they spend a lot of time on vetting and organizing their members, in all reality they are poorly trained and loosely organized. Anytime they are seen in large groups marching in a city, it's because they're pulling from every group all over the country to present the illusion of a large presence in one area. Because of how infrequently they assemble in large groups to practice, it is really difficult for them to be successful as a group in any capacity. This information was written, recorded, edited, and distributed by anti-fascists for anti-fascists, with explicit intent to shut down Patriot Front and all other fascist organizations.
I can't show this shit. Fuck, I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry. Fuck. But look, man, they're training. It's a joke, right? They're organizing, they're training, they're motivated. Okay. And, you know, as we saw with January 6th, it's not like you don't need the whole country to do a lot of damage. You don't even see it. It's out of the shot. Okay, good. He got fucking McJacked. They all got. I love to see these Antifa guys, man. They fucking blast their cuffs out. They're like, let's go. And fucking, Patriot Front. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I mean, they put that video out. They put that video out, Woke Patriot. Yeah, just shut up like a light. I'm sorry, Twitch. I'm not allowed to show it. I'm sure my YouTube is gonna get fucked too. You can't show the truth. You're really not allowed to show the reality of war, the reality of what's happening on the streets. You're just and you're encouraged to self-censor. It's like, well, make your own website. Okay, yeah. I would love less viewers, please. They will kick me off this platform eventually. I'm 100% guarantee. I'm sure of it. No matter how hard I try to avoid them. Last bit of our U.S. news here. Shane Vaughn is now demanding the repeal of the 17th Amendment, which allows for the direct election of U.S. senators because voters keep electing Democrats. It's not fair. I keep telling you this. The mask is off. Democracy, respect for democracy only exists with the very small Mitch McConnell contingent that is, holding on for dear life to the remnants of this GOP party. When Mitch McConnell is finally dead or out of official power, it will be individuals who listen to individuals like this who will be in charge. They despise liberty. They despise democracy. They know that if they want to implement their theocracy, that they're going to have to do it through force, and they're perfectly okay with doing this. What we see with these videos, these individuals are fully well aware of the situation, and what they're trying to do is that they are priming their audience to accept a certain amount of violence to get what they want. You can't do it all at once. You can't just bust out there like Hitler and throw down Mein Kampf, okay? You do it bit by bit. Charlie Kirk is an expert at this. Steve Bannon is an expert at this. And then you have clowns like this and Nick Fuentes that don't really get the memo that we're supposed to be subtle about some of this fascism. And they're like, oh, yippee. Oh, yay. We're doing it. We destroyed abortion. Oh, now we're going to come after gay marriage. Oh, this is great. Let's go. Sieg Heil. And they're giving the game away a little bit. But the thing is that no one's paying attention. Look at the views. Look at the views. 12.3K. This is just off Right Wing Watch, right? But I'm sure his views, you know, it's all right wingers. No one's paying attention. No one's paying attention. Just give you, I apologize in advance, but we're going to give you a little taste of what this maniac has to say.
And what we must do is repeal 17. Otherwise, you're going to have a blue House and a blue Senate. And ladies and gentlemen, you cannot govern that way. I knew it. When I saw Herschel Walker lose that election, and I saw a massive turnout of red all over that state. Matter of fact, it was more of a turnout than they were expecting. The state showed up to get a red representative, a senator. However, Atlanta said, no, not today. We're going to give you Warlock.
Warlock? They're calling him Warlock? Guys, you're supposed to not make him look cool, okay? Yeah, Zio pointing out that the stacking of the Supreme Court has enabled so much hope for these guys. Absolutely. And who's to blame? Who's to blame? The neoliberals. And what? Here we go, guys. The American Patriot. Gee, I wonder who this guy votes for. I wonder if he votes for everything that would be antithetical to a real democratic patriot. Yeah, I don't believe in the Constitution anymore. I think we should have a dictator. That's why I'm a patriot. That's why I believe in America, because, the founding fathers really did want America to be a theocracy. That's why they left Britain. They felt like, the theocracy that they were under just wasn't harsh enough, and they wanted an even harsher one. Proof? We don't need proof. Come on. Make America Great Britain again. Well, there you go, YouTube. Make America Great Britain again. There's your U.S. news. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe. Check out the stream. We'd love to see you. I love how literally no one is watching my YouTube videos. I'm almost certain I'm going to make I'm almost certain I'm going to make a new channel. So, literally no one. Literally no one. I'm completely shadow banned. All right. Thank you so much.